Mind uploading. Humans have always been fascinated with the concept of immortality, but what seems to be even more exciting to some is the thought of using technology to make immortality a real-world application. A movement called transhumanism is devoted to using science and technology to make our bodies and our minds stronger and greater, and to allow humans to emerge with machines, eradicating old age as a cause of death. So the big question is, can we really escape death? Let's find out. Mind uploading describes a hypothetical process of separating a person's consciousness, which involves their emotions, thought process, experiences, and basically everything that makes a person unique, then converting it into a digital format, and finally transferring the digital consciousness into a different substrate, like a machine. The process would conceivably incorporate different steps, like mind copying, mind transfer, mind preservation, and whole brain emulation. Here's a detailed overview of how mind uploading could actually work. Step 1. Getting the information from the brain. The human brain regularly performs complex processes with the help of its 86 billion neurons that function simultaneously in a large neural network. And the complexity does not stop there. There are more than 125 trillion synapses. That's a lot of information and storage capacity. Some have suggested that, in order to completely replicate an individual's brain, it would be necessary to first dissect the brain. However, mind uploading advocates claims that non-invasive brain scans can provide sufficient resolution for copying the brain without actually killing the person to do it. The information stored in our brain would then be used to create a connectome, a complete map of the neural connections in the brain, created using incredibly precise scanning of the neurons and the synapses. However, to date, we only have a complete connectome for a 1.5 mm roundworm, which has just 302 neurons and about 7,000 synaptic connections. In 2014, the OpenWorm project, which mapped the brain, replicated it as software and installed it into a Lego robot which was capable of the same sensory and motor actions as the biological model. Building a human connectome is clearly a much more complicated process. Now imagine how much time and resources will be required for the identification of about 86 billion neurons, the determination of their precise location, and tracing and cataloging of their projections on one another. Building and interpreting even a single human connectome is inconceivable using existing technologies. Mind uploading. Another proposed method of getting information from the brain is through a brain-computer interface. There are already existing implanted devices that can translate some types of neuronal information into commands, and are capable of controlling external software or hardware, such as a robotic arm. However, modern BCIs are only very slightly related to the theoretical BCIs, which would be needed to allow us to transfer our brain states into a digital medium. Brain-computer interfaces, which would allow mind uploading, would need a technology similar to modern-day brain scanning technology. Some suggest that downloading consciousness would require technology capable of scanning human brains at a quantum particle level. Elon Musk's Neuralink is one company working on aspects of mind uploading. They're designing a neural implant which would work like a Fitbit in your skull. It would have many micron-scale electrode threads connected to different parts of the brain. While this technology is showing some promise in allowing humans to interface with computers in a limited way, it's not close to the technology needed to upload an entire brain. Meeting the challenges of Step 1, preserving the brain. Some wealthy individuals who wish to live forever are opting to preserve their brains and sometimes bodies through cryopreservation. In theory, in the future when the human connectome technology is fully developed, their consciousness could then be retrieved and uploaded. An American cryonics company, Alcor Life Extension Foundation, already stores around 180 cryopreserved human bodies at its Phoenix-based facility. However, some experts also claim that such cryonic techniques may damage the brain beyond repair. One element of this process that may give some pause for thought, however, is that the brain embalming needs to take place while the person is still alive. The company hopes the process will be allowed as part of doctor-assisted suicide programs. Even if it does not lead to an uploading technology, any brains that manage to be preserved might help in the research towards building the human connectome. Step 2. Reconstruction of the artificial brain. Once all of the neural activity is mapped out and the connectome is ready, the next step would be to digitize it. According to a rough estimate published in Scientific American, the memory storage capacity of the human brain could be around 2.5 petabytes or 2,500 terabytes. Mind uploading. While the popular notion is that we only use 10% of our brain, neurologists say this is actually a myth, and we actually use almost all of our brain all the time. In computing, artificial neural networks have been created, which are inspired by the biological neural networks. An ANN is based on collection of connected units, or nodes, which loosely model the neurons in a biological brain. However, there are some major differences between an ANN and a human brain. All artificial layers compute one by one, instead of being part of a network in which they work simultaneously. All simulated neurons are similar and are like simple boxes that can hold just one value, whereas the neuronal region of our brain appears as tree-like formations. Also, the human brain uses approximately 300 times more parameters as compared to GPT-3, the largest artificial neural network ever built. Step 3. Emulation in an external substrate. Once all the requirements are fulfilled and the artificial brain is ready, the mind can now be uploaded into a simulation, such as a virtual world like the metaverse, or into a network of artificial brains connected to each other in a swarm. Another transhumanist idea suggests that the mind can also be uploaded into a humanoid robot. Uploading into a physical robot would require robots that are a lot more functional than any that currently exist. However, if the consciousness is uploaded as a substrate-independent mind, and if the sim is deemed to be conscious, then it will also need to exist in a place and be able to interact with things. This will require virtual reality that is identical to how humans experience actual reality. Everything from tasting a soda to feeling the pain of a car accident. All of this will require even more storage capacity, signal bandwidth, and power. Neuroscientist Michael Hendricks from McGill University called mind uploading an abjectly false hope in his 2015 report published in MIT Technology Review. According to Hendricks, scientists still don't know exactly what kind of technology can allow them to replicate a human mind. In his report, Hendricks also raised doubts about the success of current or foreseeable freezing methods for brain preservation, as well as methods for retrieving the information stored in the human brain. Furthermore, as an expert on the neural activity of the C. elegans roundworm, he says that having a connectome is by itself not a sufficient condition to simulate a nervous system. Mind uploading has the potential to change human lives forever. But this is also why the advent of this sci-fi technology in the real world might also give rise to a lot of conflicts revolving around its ethical and social impact on humanity. Mind uploading. Steve Jobs once said, "Death is very likely the single best invention of life. It is life's change agent. It clears out the old to make way for the new." If this is true, then defeating death by mind uploading may in fact be self-defeating. It would allow a few individuals to go on, but at the expense of everything and everyone else. For now, a number of scientists, researchers, and tech companies are working towards making mind uploading a reality. Whether they'll be successful or not, or how our society would react to consciousness transfer, only the future could tell.